Hey guys, welcome to the next tutorial for certified ethical hacking. So in this tutorial we will be taking a look at GFI LANguard. GFI LANguard is another tool for actually scanning the networks. So it's actually quite a great tool if you ask me. It actually scans network ports to detect accesses, and it also helps you to correct any security vulnerabilities that are found in your system. So you have learned in the previous tutorial as to how to monitor the TCP/IP and UDP ports on your local computer or on network using the CUR ports. But this tool, LANguard, it will automatically mark a pink color suspicious UDP/IP or TCP port owned by any unidentified application. To prevent attacks related to TCP/IP, you can select one or more items and then close the selected connections. So let's assume that your company's web server is hosted by a large ISP or internet service provider, and it is well protected behind a firewall. Your company needs to audit the defenses used by the internet service provider. You cannot just rely on them blindfoldedly. After starting a scan, let's say for example a serious vulnerability is discovered or identified, but it was not immediately corrected by your ISP, and an evil attacker manages to actually create a backdoor on the server and get access to that. So using a backdoor, the attacker can get complete access to the server, and he will be able to manipulate the information on this server. As a matter of fact, he will even close the vulnerability and exploit something else, so you won't even have an idea as to what exactly is happening in the background. So the attacker also uses server to leapfrog and attack other servers on the ISP, which can then go ahead and make it more compromised. So as a security administrator and a penetration tester, for your computer you need to conduct penetration testing in order to determine the list of threats and vulnerabilities to the network infrastructure you manage. In this tutorial, I'll be teaching you the same thing using the GFI LANguard. So I'll first be downloading the GFI LANguard, so I'll just go over here. So I'll just select GFI LANguard, and I'll just go over here and step-by-step guide. I'll just download it over here for, I believe it's a paid app. Okay, so I think that this is a paid app, so I doubt I would be able to download this. But this is actually a very cool part where you can actually go ahead and do a lot of other things. So as an administrator, you often have to deal with separate problems related to vulnerability issues, patch management, and network auditing. So it is your responsibility to address actually all the vulnerability management and need and act as a virtual consultant to give a complete picture of the network setup, and also to provide the risk analysis and to maintain a secure and let's say a compliant network state faster and more effectively. So security scans or audits, they will enable you to identify and assess the possible risk within a network. Audit operations imply any type of checking performed during a network security audit. These include open port checks, missing Microsoft packages for example, and other vulnerabilities such as zero-day vulnerabilities. So service information and also user of or process information. So you can just go ahead and use this specific version. It's actually a very easy tool, and it will go ahead and let you know exactly how this works. So I'll probably won't be downloading this because previously it was actually much more better and it was actually free, but I think as of now it's actually asking me to go ahead and give me a lot of stuff. So let me go ahead and check if I am able to download it from over here. So okay, so where is the download part over here? So okay, I think it will take me to the same page, I believe. Yeah, it's taking me to the same page, so I probably won't be downloading this, but you can just go ahead and download it for free over here, or you can use the BitTorrent to go ahead and download that as well. Well, let me check. I have it over here as well on the CNET, so I'll just go and try to download it from over here. Let's see if I could get anything. Okay, so I have a 30-day trial, so let's see if I could go ahead and download this. Okay, never mind. It's still giving me the same option to go and download it from the website, so that's not actually an option over here. But as you can see, it's a big file that approximately 200 MB, so you probably have to download this and mistake as to how these things work. GFI is actually a very great tool to analyze how different type of products your organization is using, what other softwares, and how these softwares are acting against your system or towards your system. You can evaluate under multiple circumstances how GFI LANguard displays a dialog and how it can help you to go ahead and patch management your system. So this is actually a very great tool. The next thing that I would like to teach you would be in detail about the Nmap. Nmap and Zenmap is the official Nmap GUI or graphic user interface, and it's actually an open source utility so for network exploitation and security auditing. So I have taught you previously how we could go ahead and download. Let me just check if I have Zenmap already. Okay, so I don't think I have Nmap right now with me, so I'll just go ahead and download the Nmap as well. So for Windows it is known as Zenmap and not as Nmap actually. For Linux and Unix version it's known as Nmap. Zenmap is a graphic user interface of the same Nmap version. Nmap is a network tool to scan the vulnerability of the system, and not only the vulnerability of the system but also the level of the vulnerability. It can also be used to patch security systems. It gives you details of open and closed ports, vulnerable computers, and a lot of other things. An administrator and an attacker can use the same tools to fix or exploit a system. It depends upon how they use them. If an attacker gets to know all the information about vulnerable computers, they will immediately act to compromise those systems using reconnaissance techniques. Therefore, as an administrator, it is very important for you to patch these systems after you have determined all the vulnerabilities in your network, before the attacker or before the audits actually show how vulnerable the system is actually. So what all the Zenmap can do is it can scan TCP UDP ports, it can analyze the host details and even their topology, it can determine the types of packets and filters, it can record and save all scan ports, and it can also compare the saved results for suspicious ports.